it's Omo Michelle here with Rolling Out Arts and Culture. Today, I'm here with the magnificent Mrs. Priscilla Phifer, artist extraordinaire, one of Detroit's most important and prolific contemporary abstract artists. And Ms. Priscilla Phifer is coming upon two important milestones: her fabulous 80th birthday coming up and the 10th anniversary of her being an artist. So we're going to talk to Priscilla today about her journey and her future in art. And welcome and thank you for being with us here today, Priscilla Phifer.
Thank you, Misha, and Rolling Out. I love that introduction, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You made it easy.
Thanks.
So Priscilla, I see you're in your studio, a lot of your beautiful artwork behind you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Again, you're coming up on 10 years as a professional artist, meaning that you emerged as an artist at 70. So tell us some of your artistic background and what led you to becoming an abstract artist, an artist.
Yeah, prior to becoming an artist, I was dibbling and dabbling in decoupage, floral arranging. Actually, I was teaching decoupage in Grosse Pointe War Memorial, Plymouth Church at their summer camp, after school programs in Southfield. So I was having a gay old time doing my decoupage and floral arranging. I love it. I still love it, right? So one day, the men in my life, mainly my husband and son and my late daughter-in-law, challenged me after doing decoupage for about 5 years and said, you know what, I bet you could transfer those skills onto a canvas. Let's find you a class. So they found a class at the Birmingham Bloomfield Art Center, just following, can you believe this, hip replacement. Now the class it was the wrong class, by the way. It was the wrong class. I thought it was a beginner's class. It was really a studio class for people who needed that space as a studio because they didn't have space at home. So when I walked in with these two little canvases, because they said bring two canvases, right? And the class was supposed to be from 9 to 12. So I walk in with these two little canvases, and the class is from 9 until 4.
Oh,
9 to
that's
4.
A commitment.
For 8 weeks, right? Every week for 8 weeks. So then I was a glutton for punishment. I did learn a little bit, although I didn't learn how to draw or, do figurative work. But I kind of looked around, see what people were doing, and some of them were doing some dripping and dragging and stuff like that. So I said, oh, I can do that. So because I don't have that formal training in terms of drawing and figurative work and modeling, still work, I figured I would just stick to abstract. And then I was then after I got into it, I said, oh, let me see who else does abstract. Even before I got into it, I really like Sam Gilliam, but also learned in an intro art class about Jackson Pollock and Rothko and, the European artists. So I decided, let me go explore and see other influences I might like, other artists I might like. So I actually like abstract.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I got there. So I went from decoupage, floor arranging to visual art.
And table settings, I know that's been one of your art forms really for a long time as well.
Tablescapes, I do that. Yes, I do those. And even I've entered into competitions for tablescaping. And I have won a couple of times.
Of course. I've seen your tablescape, so I can't imagine you not winning. You'd be very hard to beat.
Oh, well. Coming up now, like you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it was fun. You invited me to participate in the last Pierians
Right.
tablescape event, and that was such an adventure. Are you all doing it again this year?
Not this year because we have an assembly going on in October. So next year we will. So you'll be invited back.
Oh, I'll be looking forward to it.
Yes, yeah.
So you came into abstract painting really with a lot of sense of already color and design and composition, which definitely comes through in your work because abstract painting is a lot more than just splashing paint around, as I'm sure you can attest and through
Right,
your work. And
right.
even the different, you have so many different styles, even the work behind you. I'm looking at least 3 or 4 different styles that you've explored. Can you tell us about some of the different groups of art? I know you have a couple different groups. If Women Ruled, Gilda Snowden. What are some of the different groups of paintings that you
You
work
mean
in?
you mean like series work?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, if women ruled, yes, that was inspired by the first. Well, let me back up. A lot of my art is inspired by politics, art, collecting, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it's about politics and social issues. So, if women ruled was my first one I did was in 2020, January 2020, following the loss of the presidential election, where who won.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so hurt over that, right?
Yeah.
So my first thought was, dang, if women rule the world, how would it be? I wonder if it'd be much better than if, with them when men have been ruling it all along. How would it be? So that's how that came up with the title and the concept. And that
Mm-hmm.
particular series has taken off so big. I mean, it's hard to keep up with those because it's not my traditional way of splash painting or drip or dragging. I call it controlled uh, acrylic pours. I use a tiny little instrument to pour paint into each little section randomly at first. So it's
Who are some
tedious.
of the women you've honored in that series? I know different paintings are named after different women.
Right, right. Early on, they were numbered, and then when I went to a gallery, we started naming them after notables on the
Mm-hmm.
local, national, international level. On the local level, one was Deborah White Hunt of Detroit Windsor Dance Academy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And another one was I did one named after Kamala Harris,
Mm-hmm.
Ketanji Brown Jackson, Michelle Obama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. And one was for, what was her name? Um, I haven't quite finished hers. I'm doing one named after Daisy Elliott. You know who she was?
Mm-mm.
She was a Michigan representative, state representative, who co-sponsored the Elliott Larson Anti-Discrimination Act.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
See?
So she died about 10 years ago. So one's gonna be named after her. Daisy.
Beautiful. So it's
Daisy.
it's ongoing.
Ongoing, right.
Yeah. Is
Right.
that
And
one
currently
behind
I'm doing
you?
some for the deltas. The deltas, the one you see, the one with the red, crimson and cream, black and purple.
Mm-hmm.
That's a that's a delta series now. Started as
Oh,
one. Now people want a print of it or they want an original. So I've been busy doing originals and I'm going to do a print for the Southfield chapter. And as a result, I have been busy, busy, busy.
that's exciting.
It is exciting. It's exciting. So, a lot of times, my art is collector driven. A lot of it's collector driven.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't start out that way, but we don't like, and because I'm a collector, I'm also in the collector group.
Mm-hmm.
And as a collector artist, uh, people tend to want the same thing. Like if one collector wants if women rule, the
Mm-hmm.
others have to get it too, right? Whatever.
Yes.
Or the Fagilda example, the Fagilda series. One person wanted it from my little group of collectors. Well, that, they cannot be outdone. So all of them have
Well,
one.
you all are inspired by each other.
We are. Exactly.
Speaking of Deborah White Hunt, I know you did a mural there, right, at the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy. And I know of at least one other mural that you've done. Tell us about those mural projects.
The one for the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy was done specially for their 40th anniversary, 40 years of being in business. Isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted different artists to participate by doing a mural on their partitions, which were 6 feet by 9 feet, so that when the kids are, or they're not all kids, but when the students from ages 5 to 90 are, practicing, they have something beautiful to look at and something to be inspired by. So yeah, I did that. It was like a 3-month project. I did that one and the one in Highland Park for a retired politician. Concurrently, I would do like 6-7 hours in Highland Park, then come home. I do 6-7 hours on the one for the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you were working on both of them at the same time.
Right. And what's so different about those two, normally, these are done on the floor, on the table. Well, I couldn't do those, couldn't do a garage door on the floor, right? And so I did, the panel was so big. I actually used a brush on those two. I actually use a brush. The other ones, I don't use a brush, like the one you see back there, the crimson and cream, black, and the one below. I don't use a brush. That's the controlled acrylic pour technique. I don't know if everybody else calls it that, but that's what I call it.
It's all acrylic?
All acrylic.
Beautiful. I don't know. I don't think I realized that you were using a pour technique on those.
Right.
Beautiful. And the Delta one looks different. It doesn't look like from here, it doesn't look like anything I've seen of yours before.
That's because of the colors. Generally, even though I'm a Delta, people are surprised that I don't have red and white, crimson and cream in my house. I just, I guess maybe because it's not earth tone, maybe. I don't know. So it was a challenge for me to come up with the crimson and cream. So what I did on that one is I used a couple of colors of red, a couple of shades of violet, which represents our flower, the African violet, and then a couple of shades of white to give it something, to make it not look so, everything looked the same. So, but of course, the collectors or the customers are the Deltas, and they loved it.
Oh, beautiful.
What was so nice about both of those murals is that they were both like big community events. And I like that. I'm always in the community. I love community service. I love that, we all get together and around a common cause or something. So with the one in Highland Park, there were 3 reveals of that one because the collector wanted the community to be involved. So she went out and invited all kinds of people to come and see her garage door, which she was very happy about.
And so proud of it, I'm sure.
Yes, she is. Yes.
So you guys had 3 celebrations.
3 there, and I think was ongoing with the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy. They had a major one at a recital where they revealed all of the murals. I think Paul Curtis and Daphne had one, and Michael Horner is another lady from New York. Forgot her name. Joelle something or other. And Stubbs, he had one. So I think, and Shirley Woodson, and Herbert and Hubert Massey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you all paint those
at a big concert?
You all painted those there at the dance studio?
Nope, painted at home.
And they remain on permanent view there?
Permanent, right.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So speaking of community service, I know that you are very involved in different organizations and different philanthropic activities. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of those engagements?
I can. Well,
The Deltas, of course.
right. I work with nonprofits, mainly 501c3s, in the in helping them find artists
Mm-hmm.
to do auctions so they raise funds for their various programs. So I work with Matrix, Human Services, Torture Wisdom Foundation, the National Conference of Artists. Who else? A few more, Hannon Center. But what I do, in terms of community service and art, whenever I do community service and whenever there's an opportunity for artists to participate, I grab them. I make them aware of these things and the importance of sometimes not even getting paid for your art, but most of the time they get paid for their art, when they
Mm-hmm.
do these auctions. But in the case of, for example, Matrix, it was an outright donation. And initially, the artist would say, "Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't get paid," because Detroit Fine Ex during the Detroit Fine Arts Breakfast Club's meetings,
Mm-hmm.
artists sell their work. They expect to get paid. They want to get paid for everything. So I used to tell them, and I continue to tell some, it's always not about the money. Sometimes you just got to give, in order to get, but just to give,
Mm-hmm.
you're in another exposure market. So that was a challenge at first, trying to get artists to just donate certain things, certain items. But now, they now understand the importance of giving, like that.
Yes.
And I told them that they would be considered philanthropists.
I know you love that
There are
word.
different levels of philanthropy. So that was one organization I worked with. But for the most part, I would help 501c3s
Mhm.
fundraise through art and their art programs. And I
Well, you're
enjoyed
such
doing
an
it.
advocate for the arts and for artists, for emerging artists, just, like that, connecting them with opportunities, giving them advice, little slaps on the hands if they need them. Um,
Right.
but
Sometimes they
it's
need
and
that.
that's a form of philanthropy too, just helping to steer and guide people in their careers in the arts. Also,
Right.
the Pyreans, you mentioned Torture Wisdom, of course, the Deltas. You're so involved with so many organizations, and this is a little off the beaten path, but when I think about all the things that you do and your artwork and not just how much art you create, because you really are prolific. I mean, look at your studio. I mean, just what we can see here now, and that's just the tip of the iceberg and the physicality of your work. You have a lot of energy. How do you do it?
Yeah, I'm asked that a lot. Like, how do you do that? I don't know. I don't know. I even asked my doctor, am I normal? Because I rarely ever get tired. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And I usually I get about 6 hours of sleep. I think it's art that
Mm-hmm.
that keeps me energized, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's art. Might be genetic too. Some of it's genetic. And my father was very energetic. My parents, both of them were energetic and they were into arts and crafts and stuff like that. So I think I got it honestly from them and my grandparents.
Mm-hmm. Genetics, creativity, just, being creative. Like you said, even before becoming a painter, you were always involved in some form of creativity. And I've seen your decoupage. I love it. Have you incorporated that in your abstract work at all?
Early on, I
And
did. I
again, for
think
those who don't know, explain what decoupage is.
decoupage is basically it's a French term, which means to paste paper onto another object or paste something onto another object, usually paper. So yes. And you were asking, did I incorporate that into yes, early on, you know who has my art? My son Drake. He has those
Mm.
pieces with decoupage
Mm.
and paint. Yes, he has a very big one, a 30 by 33 by 43. It's a huge one. It's in his bathroom, and plus
Mm.
two or three others.
I have to check that out.
You have to check him out. I told him I want my art back, but no, I let him keep it for a while.
So are you going to do any more?
I I do. Oh, let me show you one. Hold on
Okay.
just a second, real quick. This is well, this is one. This is paint. See that?
Oh, wow.
This is paper. This is all paper.
Mm-hmm.
And embedded in there are messages that you have to go look for to see
Wait,
what
what's in there?
they're embedded messages. You can't see them because they are embedded messages. Like this one has unity, uh, perfection.
Oh,
There's different
wow.
messages embedded. This is paper and paint.
Wow. Is it on canvas? Oh, it's on paper. It's on paper.
This happens to be on rattan, but I did some on canvas. They all sold. I did one in the shape of a pyramid, but you know who got that? The Deltas got that one.
Oh, okay.
Right? And I had some in a circle, geometric shapes.
Beautiful. Wow. I have to see
Well,
that in person. I did see one, I think, but it was a smaller circle with the paper pieces on a canvas, right?
right.
Yeah, I did see, but that one's major.
Right. So what I didn't understand until I started working with paper,
Mm-hmm.
paper stays wet a very, very long time. It takes
Mm-hmm.
a long time for these paper to dry. So you can't really put another layer of paper on until the first layer dries.
Mm-hmm.
It's very time consuming, but it looks like it's an easy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy, but it's just time consuming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I imagine knowing you, you're not watching paper dry. You're gonna paint
Oh
something
no, no,
else.
no.
Yeah.
No, I usually work on three or four, pieces at a time.
hmm
Mhm.
Wow. Well, I
So
am
you know,
so inspired by you, as so many people are, and so happy for your career. And again, coming up, this is your 10th anniversary as an artist. One thing we didn't get to talk about is your wonderful book, Hue Intuition. Tell us a little bit about the book. The book is if you don't have it, is a must-have. Um, yeah, it was so beautifully done, and not just because of the art and the way the art was photographed, but the way that you captured the art collecting community as well was just a really important piece of that book. So is the book still available? Can people still get it?
it's no longer available. There were two printings, and
Mm-hmm.
they both sold out. Actually, that was Drake's idea to do that book. I was told by one of our mentors, one of our mentors, mutual mentors. You don't need a book
Mm-hmm.
right now. You haven't been an artist long enough. You might change your mind about what you want in the book. But the way that book happened, Drake and his late wife started that book. They wanted to do this book. That was their idea. So, you know the story about Monique passed away in August of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So after, a few months of mourning and, sadness and all that, Drake woke up and said, Mom, we're going to finish that book. Monique would want us to finish that book. So that's what we decided to do. But the pandemic hit. So
Yeah.
initially, Drake was sending photographers to the various collectors' homes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the pandemic, when people had to wear masks, things shut down, we relied on people to send their best photos, whether it be a selfie or some other kind of means. They got their uh, art that they had collected from me and a picture of themselves alongside it. So that's how we put that book together. So excuse me, I call it a community book because
Mm-hmm.
the community had to get involved, right?
Right.
So we loved it. I liked the outcome of the book, and it was fun doing it. And what was especially nice was featuring the collectors.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an important historical record, a timeline of your work from the beginning up to that point, and a record of collectors, not just from Detroit, right, but all
Right.
over,
They're all
of
over.
Black collectors, and not even all Black collectors, but
Right.
obviously collectors of Black art.
But I tell you, the non-Black collectors live on the East Coast and West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them on
Not,
the East Coast and West.
yeah,
Isn't
not
that
so much
amazing?
local.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have collectors everywhere.
I do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I do. So
And
I've been blessed, because this was not a lifelong dream. You know how some people have a lifelong dream to be an artist, and
mm-hmm.
uh, that was never a dream. That this is what I wanted to be. But
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm immersed in it, I love it. It's addictive, very
Mm-hmm.
addictive.
You're exactly where you should be.
Again,
And I tell people too, it's good to have a dream, but it's also good to just follow life where it takes you and to be open. You might have been presented with an opportunity to be an artist at what, 60 something, and said, you might have said, no, I'm not doing that, or I want to do something else, but you didn't. There was an opportunity to learn something new and to grow and explore it, and you did that. So I
I
think,
accepted the challenge
right.
from the family, right? I guess they saw
Mm-hmm.
something in me that I didn't see. So they said, I bet you could do this. And you too, you're another one who are very inspiring.
Oh,
You really
thank
are.
you.
And I enjoy exhibiting at your gallery.
I know, I'm kind of jealous. Because you
Oh,
got this big 10th anniversary coming up. And I'm like,
oh,
ooh, why didn't I think of that? But I'm so happy. I'm so happy they're doing it, and really looking forward to it. So tell us about the big 80th
and the
birthday and
10th.
10th anniversary event.
Okay. Well, I tell you, um, I meet a lot of different people doing community service, right? And one of
Mm-hmm.
the community service activities was I am the Southfield Public Arts Commission's liaison. And through that commission, I met these Nordine brothers. They're
Mm-hmm.
sculptors. They provide, or they're installing sculptures in Southfield. So anyway, the commission went down, and the mayor went down to their studio for a visit. And we got to talking art and sculpture and all that stuff. And then they said, you know what, you might want to come down here and have an exhibit. And I'm looking around going, no, all this, a lot of sculpture, right?
Yeah.
But mixed in with it, I saw some paintings, and I thought they were mine, really. I said, oh, this painting looks sort of like my work, my style of work. That was one of the wives of one of the brothers. That was her.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, from that conversation about you might want to have something here, this is over a year ago. So I went down to the studio with, like I said, the commission and the mayor, and fast forward, got uh, an email saying, it's time to get that show on the road. We want to do this for you, your 80th and your 10th.
Oh, that's so awesome. That is so awesome.
To be at the Detroit Design Center. The brothers are Israel and Eric uh, Nordine,
Mm-hmm.
Nordin. And they are fabulous sculptors, I tell you. They do a lot of metal, steel,
That
huge.
is so amazing. So will there be the sculptures there with your work?
No, it's going to be separate. They have a new gallery. So my exhibit will be the inaugural exhibit for
Oh,
the
that's
new
amazing.
gallery. Right, right. And so it's beautiful. Randy Drake and I went down there Sunday.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, we're all excited. Really are.
So what's the date? Tell us how
It's going to
to.
be May 18th from 4 to 7. See my 4 solo show. All of my solo shows have been on a Sunday from 4 to 7.
Okay, that's your special day and time. That is going to be so amazing and so successful. Are you creating new work for the exhibit as well?
Not all new work. I'll have some older work, new works. It's not a retrospective, but it's just you know, a window into what I've been doing over the past 10 years.
What have been some of the, I know we probably have talked about a lot of them, but what have been some of your most memorable moments as an artist in these past 10 years?
In these past 10 years. Well, the most memorable was my very first solo show. That was very memorable.
And tell us about that. I love hearing this. I love hearing this story.
You know, to show you that I was not a lifelong dreamer, art dreamer, artist. So anyway, after I finished Birmingham Bloom for Art Center, I went to the community house, to see if what I had created or started creating at the community house and continued at the Birmingham Bloom for Art Center and then at the community house to see if my work was worthy enough for an exhibit. So I had my community house instructor critique 30 paintings. And I'm thinking that she's going to tell me, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because like I said, I had no training. I'm self-taught, right? So she kept saying, sign your name, sign your name, sign your name, and all of them, right? So when I went, still thinking, I'm not thinking that I'm an artist for real. So the day of the event, even the day before, I'm thinking, I didn't even have a smartphone. I didn't have a smartphone, no sales receipt book, no change, no nothing. All we had was a price sheet in the event that 1 or 2 pieces would sell. That was our expectation, right? So anyway, people started lining up, like 3 people wanted this 1 piece and 2 people wanted that piece. And, it's like, no, I want it. Lo and behold, 26 of those 30 paintings sold.
Wow.
And then I was, before I even got to the sales, I said, how am I gonna do this? I don't know how to process anything. I'm totally unprepared. Drake, he saved the day. He processed everything through his business.
Oh, wow.
Right. Other than that, I don't know what I would have done had he not been there. Might have grabbed somebody, had been thinking, grab somebody else who had a cell phone and a square.
You would have figured it out.
So right after that, Drake said, Mom, you've got to get a smartphone. I said, why do I need a smartphone? Nobody calls me. But I just don't understand. So thanks. I credit my son with so much, helping me so much in this business. He's been one of the biggest helps in so many ways. Yeah.
Well, you have a wonderful son.
So that was a memorable, thank you. That was a memorable moment. And another one was when I received the top honors for one of my If Women Rule, named after Katanji. That was at the Our Town Art Show and Sale in Birmingham. That was
wow.
But I actually, and then doing those murals. I love doing those murals. I mean, it was so rewarding to do those murals.
Wow. So would you want to do more?
I wouldn't mind doing more. I mean, I wouldn't want to get up on buildings. I would, if I did more, contract these young people to get up there or however it's done. But no, I did not mind doing those 2 because like I said before, as a result of doing those, it brought the community together. I mean, people were just coming from all over, just to enjoy the new scenery. One in Highland Park and one downtown Detroit. So I would do one of those or two or 3 of those any day. I would.
That's exciting. Murals are exciting. I was really surprised. I do remember they were happening around the same time, but I did not realize you were working on them both at the same time.
Same time. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have your event coming up May 18th.
Right. From 4 to 7.
4 to 7. Is this open to the public?
Open to the public, of course. You'll like it, I believe.
I can't wait. Yeah, it sounds amazing. I can't wait. And I look forward to meeting the Nordine brothers.
Yes, the Nordines, Eric and Israel. And one of the wives, Amanda Nordine, she's the one who's curating the show.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday. Happy 80th. Happy, beautiful, fabulous 80th. You want to give us some quick health and beauty tips before we go?
Health and beauty tips?
Yes.
I can't offer any. I don't know. You're beautiful. You don't need anything.
We all do. We all do. We want to know how you do it. This is going to be fabulous.
Right.
Fabulous.
I hope so. With you there too. Shoot.
Let's celebrate.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. This is major. This is a big deal. So we are going to party, have a good time, sell some art, all that.
Yes. I don't know, I don't know what we'll sell this time. I'm not even going in with any kind of expectations.
Right.
I'm not even going to say, I hope I sell one or I hope I sell two. I'm not even thinking about that. Yeah,
it's going to be a beautiful show though. And when did you last have a solo show?
It was April of 2018.
Oh, see? Yeah, so it's time. Like you've met a lot of people since then who would not have even seen a body of your work. So yeah, this is important.
Well, one of my California collectors said that she was coming back for this, for the 80th.
I think everybody in the book should come back. And and will there be any reprints on the book? If so, this will be the time to do it.
Reprints on the book?
If you're going to do any.
Huh?
If you're going to do any, this will be a good time to do it.
I would have to check with Drake, I tell you, that was a gift. That book was a gift to me. From Drake and Monique. Drake.
Aww.
So I don't know if he would want to do that. A lot of people have been asking him about it. Can it be bought digitally, or can it be?
Yeah, print on demand.
Right. I'll check with him.
Okay. Well, keep us posted. Well, thank you, Priscilla.
Well, thank you, and rolling out for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Two of my favorite people. You all know that, right?
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me.
Yes, you are. You are.
I appreciate that. You too.
Thank
you. You're my favorite person too.
Mutual adoration.
Thank you for joining us here at Rolling Out Arts and Culture. Thank you for joining me and my guest, Priscilla Phifer. And again, her exhibition and 10th anniversary and 80th birthday celebration is May 18th here in Detroit. We look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you, Priscilla, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. You're welcome. Okay.